In this most humble of part twos, we get to see exactly how shitty a human being Hassenkopf? Man. We get to see exactly the tactics and the lies and the deceit that he used on very weak people. And I want to say weak-minded people, but people in situations such as these, can you really blame them for wanting to believe in a miracle or allowing themselves to do so? This man would have had zero problem telling his own mother that he could save the world with his bullshit. All he needed was to sell her some snake oil and, a little bit of her blood. For good measure. What are you going to do? You need some blood. I don't know. It's for the lubrication process of the machinery and such. It's blood-based, and it's hard to get, so I need some of yours. Enjoy.
We passed upon the stairs. We spoke of once and when. Oh no, I wasn't there. He said I was his friend, which came as a surprise. I spoke into his eyes.
Slightly aggressive.
Slightly aggressive, huh?
You know what? You
All
shut
right.
your fucking face when you're talking to me.
Ouch, man. I don't know how that's a possible thing that I can
do not accept such insolence. And
Do you accept insulin?
no, because I produce my own at the
You
proper,
don't got the diabetes.
at the proper rate. So,
Okay.
on that note,
On this note,
C sharp.
no, that was an F flat.
Yeah, I know nothing about musical scale.
I certainly couldn't tell you a note name from ear. That's insane.
I mean, I know some stuff about some stuff. You
I know that. Welcome to another part 2 episode of See No, Hear No, Speak No.
Ooh, juicy, fried to a golden brown, and crispity crunchy UFOs, conspiracies, and murders for your ear holes.
Juicy couture.
That is somehow so much grosser sounding than what I just said.
It's going to sound great on recording that.
I was trying to drip it on a little bit too, and
Ugh.
I
I don't like your nomenclature.
Zach Morris timeout.
Okay, why? Is it still going?
Yeah.
Well, then Zach Moore's time in this motherfucker, man. Oh my god, you just made me realize that I don't think I know any of the words to the theme song of Saved by the Bell, except for It's Alright, 'cause I'm saved by the bell. It's weird that they had Huey Lewis, who was a 50-year-old man in the 80s, sing that song.
Seriously, right? And if it wasn't him, then because I never looked at the credits, but if it wasn't him, it damn sure sounded a lot like him.
Yeah.
When I wake up in the morning and alarm clock.
He was like the leader of the Stepdad band.
Yeah, but there were some good jams.
Oh man,
not all of them, but the catchy ones.
Absolutely,
great.
I would say that it's a weak comparison when you throw in the fact that Hall & Oates was a thing, but I'm Jason Rambo, and the other voice that you just heard mispronounced one of the greatest 80s bands, and actually the greatest bands ever, Hall & Oates. That's right, that's Daryl Hall and Daryl Oates, I think is his name.
Whoa. No, it's not.
Jawo?
No, I was going to say John, but it's not John either. What is that guy's name? It's not
Crunches and Oats.
It's not Daryl and Daryl.
I know it's not. What the fuck?
Daryl and Daryl was from a TV show.
Pete and Pete was also from a Pretty Dumb Show.
Yeah, that is true. But yeah, I'm Daryl.
Anyway.
This is my brother Daryl. This is my other brother Daryl.
Anyway, we need you to email us at snhnsnpod@gmail.com. Tell us your take on the eternal, immortal Daryl Hall and his buddy Oates with the mustache and their everlasting battle against Huey Lewis and his newsboys.
That's right. But keep in mind, you're going to have to send it care of or attention Jason Rambo, because he distracted and sidetracked himself to the point that he did not introduce me, only himself.
Chris,
so I am a mystery man, and you cannot send me mail or comments because you do not know.
I have your home address posted to many websites that you probably don't like them being on, or wouldn't, at least, if you knew about it. Oh. And still, nothing.
Well...
And I don't know if that should sting more than the fact that maybe you would get mail from these website frequenters.
Little do most people know, I have 3 home addresses.
Yes. And...
Indeed.
Still kind of homeless.
Actually, on paper, I am no longer homeless. No, I've not been homeless for the last 2 years on paper.
Oh, that's right. The thing is in the paper. The thing.
That's right.
Just like Huey Lewis and the Newsboys wanted it to be.
Always in the papers. The papers. So.
Don't need money. Don't take fame. Don't need a credit card to ride this. Go, Chris. It's your episode.
That's
Part
right.
2.
I mean, if you pull out your credit card and you swipe it, I might be a little surprised at first. But I can take a credit card swipe over an oil check any day in stride.
Why does it always go back to butt stuff?
However, you don't... It's not requested. It's not required for you to ride this train, girl.
He's talking about his mustache, Huey Lewis was. Chris is talking about...
The mustache train, yes.
Something much more uncomfortable. Much more uncomfortable.
Meanwhile, at the Legion of Doom.
Meanwhile... It's a very specific... Anyway, so, we are going to continue on this week with the second part of the Horatio Sands episode,
Part
right?
deux.
He was a man of many colors. I said Horatio Sands. That's not him. It's a comedian.
Horatio Sands cracks me up. He's not hilarious, but he makes some funny faces.
Let me try and remember this dude's name. It was it was like Japanese and then German. That's all I can fucking remember.
Well, originally it was Mexican.
So, what's his fake name?
Originally Armand Chavez. Turned legally Diazen Hasenkopf.
Diazen Hasenkopf. And Girly Chew is his old lady. And where we last left off,
Asian.
They had a bit of a spat, you could say, because he wanted to kill her and he wanted it to look like an accident in her drive for a thing that he demanded her do, and then she found him fucking with her car, and she was like, I don't think I like the fact that you were going to kill me. And so he goes to beat her up and stuff, and she runs to the next door neighbor Pedro's, who's like a 70-year-old man.
Indeed.
He saves the day again, just like every Pedro ever. And then she gets an apartment, and everything is tense, but it's getting better. She doesn't see him all the time, although he is trying to see her.
Also, from that situation of the domestic abuse, she also does go ahead and file for and is granted a restraining order. So yeah, when she has her apartment, she tells no one where she moved except for one guy at work.
Except for that one dude that helped her move,
right,
yeah.
Right.
Like not even her best friend, Ernie.
Right. So, yes.
Which is a lady.
Not only does he try to contact her through work and other places, but he also pops up on her out of the blue, yelling and screaming, basically threatening death, but not directly threatening to kill her himself, just saying that,
Oh, I thought you meant he was threatening the conscript of death.
Right.
And I was like,
that it
he's not going to win that.
Her.
I mean, your cloak is stupid and I hate it. Fuck you, death.
So, yeah, it's like high water and shit from what I remember, because he got really tired of appearing to people who were like, drowning or in mud and stuff, and he's like, dude,
that's boring.
Dude,
yeah.
What? Like, I already had to stop wearing shoes everywhere, and now I gotta rock these fucking bony toes, and now I'm gonna have to fucking
yeah.
Like, what? Should I fucking rock a toga from now on or something?
He's super, super good at chess, and I think that he's been around long enough that Bill and Ted ain't just going to trick him. Let's continue on with the story, though.
So, yes, at our finishing point, I think the final thing was the fact that he was harassing her even at work. So it basically came down to her coworkers being witness to all of this, and actually, it being probably backed up on camera and fucking company recordings that he had called and violated his restraining order. So he was charged with 3 counts of violating the restraining order, which they never actually say in most of the articles. I guess I could actually look it up if I really cared, but they never actually say what actual punishment he received from that, because it just seems like, just like with the first domestic situation, that there was the charges were all dropped, like 3 charges of abuse, and actually from this last one that caused her to move and everything, I never saw anything about that being brought up on charges or anything, just strictly that he, 3 counts of restraining order violation.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Which is strange and can't be true. Like, something had to have happened. The fucking cops were called out. They had to escort her over. They saw how beaten she was, and
and how dangerous he was potentially. And
she was not actually beaten.
I mean, he did get off the first time.
That second time.
Not the second time.
Not actually beaten.
Right.
She
the first
slipped
time
out underneath the garage door. Yeah. So
like Indiana Jones. Yes.
So it was kind of hearsay. The cops didn't have any evidence of. But anyway.
I mean, I guess, but but there was a history, and there was a restraining order given. So,
there was, for sure, and all of that should have been taken into account, most definitely, and held with priority, I would imagine. But somehow it doesn't seem like it was. So yeah, that was our stopping point. So from here, I think what I'm gonna do is skip back a little bit and just give some filling in of what old homie was actually up to all these years.
I bet it was completely innocent and not very bad what he was doing. You know what I mean?
Well, you better not bet very much on that, because it's yeah.
I have faith in this guy.
You're gonna lose pretty fucking quickly. Either way, if you're like me, you'll be listening to all of this and wonder, what the fuck has Girly Chew been doing for all of these years?
I tend to think that she was setting up a homemade candy company.
Well, I believe where we're going to go ahead and end this one, because there's going to be a part 3 to finish it out, so I don't have to rush through this. But in part 3, it does, like, there's still, fuck it, never mind. So I apologize for all of that.
Don't talk about part 3
I don't want to give any fucking
they'll hear it in
spoilers
part 3
or anything.
Yeah.
So so we're gonna skip back a little bit to well before Girly having to move out and get her own secret place and give up any and all of her rights to Dimitri and all of that shit. So we're gonna skip back to 1988, which is a good little ways back.
Oh, you know what? My very first car ever was a 1988 Hyundai Excel.
No shit.
No shit. It was terrible. It was a tiny little utilitarian box car. It did teach me how to drive a stick, which was nice.
Dope.
But it was, kind of bad.
My first car was a 1985 white Honda Accord that I bought for $250 out somebody's front yard that actually ran and was a complete fucking turd. But also, my mom taught me how to drive on a stick, and that car had a stick as well. So yeah, it was tight.
Nice.
Anyway, moving right along. So 1988. Fuck. Do you remember what year they Girly and Armand actually got married? I don't have those notes.
Oh, thank God. I thought you were going to ask me if I remembered where I was when Kennedy was shot. Because I do. But no, this I think it was like I don't remember. It wasn't it like 80, like 81, 2, 3, somewhere in the 80s. I think it was maybe.
I don't fucking remember, but it's making me look really stupid, and my notes on that are way far away in the other room.
I don't know why the actual date of their. I don't know why. I don't know why the date of their wedding is even important at this point.
I'm gonna tell you if you shit it, Muggsy. It's just for me to be able to say definitively one way or the other whether or not they were married at this point in 1988. I don't remember. So maybe they were, maybe they weren't. I don't fucking know. Either way, all of this shit was done completely unbeknownst to Girly, whether they were married at this point, at this first incident or not, that they have on file. So anyway, 1988. So this old rich lady, who we don't have a name for, I assume her family wanted to keep her anonymous.
Can we call her Phyllis?
Phyllis. So, Lady Phyllis decides to place an ad in a personals. Here we go again with that shit, right? Looking for
Lord
someone...
of Darkness, looking for his Princess of Darkness.
Well, that ain't what she's gonna find. So she was searching for a personal chef to cook her all 3 meals, do the planning and the shopping and all that shit for personal chef, as well as someone to like balance her checkbook and keep her funds in order, I guess.
Kind of sounds like she wanted a competent husband.
Yeah, it certainly did, because I don't know why you would imagine you could place an ad in a fucking personals and expect to find both of those things professionally in one person, let alone
Have
someone
you looked
could
through
trust.
Craigslist? It's pretty fuck nuts.
Yeah, no, I think she placed an ad for a personal chef and was smart enough not to add the balancing of the checkbooks into it until she got to know this motherfucker.
Okay, so 2
I
separates,
assume.
huh?
It doesn't show.
Okay.
It doesn't say, like, I can't imagine it was 2 separate ads. You never put money in there. Anyway, so, yes. And this is where she is responded to by a one Armand Chavez, who was not yet...
His real name?
Oh, yeah, you know what? So then they weren't married at this point because he legally changed his name before she got to the country.
That's right. That's right. So she would never know his deep, dirty secrets.
Right. So that... Okay,
I need your blood. Give me some blood. I need your blood. Give me some blood.
He does need the fucking blood. And that never stops. So he is still legally Armand Chavez at this point. So for 2 years, he cooks all 3 meals a day and balances this woman's checkbooks. All while, telling her all of his shit stories. But none of that, I guess, was really a prevalent part of this particular story, this particular scenario. So 2 years of taking care of this lady.
So it was like his legit phase before he got fucking fed up with it.
Well, I guess it was probably his final scam before he started to get a little more ruthless about it. I don't know. So I think honestly, I think I messed up. They met in 96. She placed the ad in 96. He worked for her. So in May of 86 is when she placed the ad. So 2 years later, in May of 88, she goes to the ER in the hospital because her heart and liver are failing. And while she is in critical condition and the doctors are, just at a loss, they finally decide to check the last thing and find out that she has arsenic poisoning.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it was pregnant.
That would have been hilarious, especially because she's already old.
Armand Chavez likes to fuck guys. Not guys, but ladies. I was saying, guys. I was talking to our listeners.
There was a pause.
Likes to fuck. And he loves blood. Go ahead.
So they were able to actually save her, and but she did have some permanent heart and liver damage. However, upon coming to,
she had a broken heart.
Upon reviving to consciousness, they tell her what happened. She recalls that her cook, or her chef, her personal chef, he's been the only person that has cooked her meals in the last 2 years. Although
I don't even eat at McDonald's no more. He's such a good cook.
Right. Although last night's dinner, he was acting a little peculiar because he gave her, he fed her, and he kept mentioning to make sure she ate all her vegetables, and did she eat her vegetables, and she even
I just assumed that he had farted on the vegetables and just wanted to get me back with some injustices.
She actually even recalled that they tasted funny. She thought they tasted funny, but she didn't think anything of it.
Because of the farts, yes.
She did not actually eat them all, but she ate most of them. So, yeah. So
did he send her to bed without dessert because of it?
Probably. Yeah, probably. But in any case, she's telling the cops this because obviously the cops show up whenever the doctor says arsenic poisoning, and the cops go over and check out her house and check out everything and check him out.
You sure do have a whole lot of arsenic brand vegetables in your freezer, sir.
Right. I'm assuming he's live-in chef because it doesn't say whether or not he has a place of his own. It just says the cops went and checked everything out and concluded that it doesn't look like there's anything out of the ordinary.
Yeah, I don't know why he would hide anything illegal at his own actual home instead of at work. Well, he was poisoning that lady.
That's allegedly. What I'm saying. I don't know that he had a home of his own at this point. So either way.
Homeless?
Either way, the cops concluded that there was no evidence of foul play, so no charges were filed against him, and they basically just, I guess, assumed the lady accidentally poisoned herself somehow.
Did he keep the job?
It doesn't specify.
Did they at least remain friends?
It doesn't say that either. It just jumps to the next incident.
Certainly not asking the hard questions.
Of course not. That was pretty much it though. Like there was no charges filed. So yet again he skates by. Skip to 1993. Another old rich lady who we can like the last one was Phyllis. We'll call this one
Phyllis number 2.
Claire.
Phyllis Claire. Phyllis Claire.
Claire's a little bit different case, but she also decides to place an ad in a personals looking for a lover.
Was it to find someone to eat?
Yeah, probably figuratively. So
I'm talking. These are references from old episodes. People would dig it. I think.
so. So Claire lived in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Albuquerque.
And she had the cancer of the breastises. So she she wanted a lover. She wanted somebody to spend her time with. And then she meets a now legally named Dyson Hassenkopf. And
I don't know why I thought you were going to say legally blind Dyson Hassenkopf.
So here's what goes down for good old Claire. Pobrecita
What happened
Claire.
was.
So Claire, somehow, just like everybody else, is drawn into his, I guess, charisma. I don't fucking know how he does it, but anyway.
It's the D.
He tells Claire, amongst probably other ridiculous things, here's the list of things he tells Claire. He tells her that he is a geneticist, that he developed a serum that is not only the cure for all cancers, but it is also, the anti-aging youth serum. Right, and yet again,
I just need a little bit of your blood.
That he's been cured by it,
blood.
and that in order to pass it on, he needs to inject her with his blood.
Through the penis, though, ladies. You hear me? Wink, wink. I give those beef injections, then you ain't got no more cancer.
See,
Give me that blood.
see, there's not enough protein. Yeah, see, I know NLP is not specifically just wording, like it's enthusiasm, it's body language, it's eye contact, it's this and that. So there's many factors that go into brainwashing someone with just a few words. But somehow this dude's fucking good at it. So he goes on to tell her and convince her of his cure-all anti-aging youth serum. And he tells her, pobrecita Claire. He tells Claire that she is going to need 20 months worth of injections at $25,000 a month. So if you kids,
that seems like it's a deal.
If you kids
deal
can't
of the
do the
century.
math, that's a cool $500,000, tax free.
Very cool $500,000. That $500,000 is wearing sunglasses and walking away from a fucking explosion.
And she does this. So he goes on to tell her that he had a daughter that was killed in a car crash yet again.
You motherfucker.
But he's going to add something new. He's getting creative now. This daughter...
No. That's what fucks people up.
Yeah. So this daughter, he was able to save a strand of her hair, which, thanks to him being a geneticist and such a brilliant genius, he has created the process. Not. Oh, yes. Of genetic cloning.
He does not.
Which he is planning on doing in his lab, and cloning his daughter and bringing her back. But...
Man, I would immediately ask him if he would bring me there in his spaceship, because I know he's got one, and I would like to see the jelly sacks that is new people that he's growing, because man, and then I'd fucking hammer right to the fucking temple and be like, that's what you get for being ridiculous in the real world.
Oh, dude. Like, you're going to have
and then I call the cops on myself.
So much more to say, which is another reason that this is going to have to be a three-parter.
It just it hurts my feelings that people believed him is the thing. It's not...
Agreed.
It's not that he had the balls to try and lie about it. It's that people were fucking bamboozled by it.
Oh, it gets so much more ridiculous. So not
Waka
only
waka.
is he going to clone his own daughter and bring her back in the lab, but that once
It's a bad
he
idea.
does,
She's not going to have a soul. We've all seen Pet Cemetery, okay?
Well, of course,
Fucking-
but you don't need one because he's a scientist or whatever. So, but that when he
I
does,
guess scientists don't have souls. You're right.
he is going to need a place to raise her. He's
Blood.
He
I
doesn't
need
have a
lots
house.
of blood.
He's going to need a house to raise
That's right. I
her.
told you he was homeless.
So he's married to Girly. He's not homeless. So this woman proceeds to buy him a 2-story house in Albuquerque, where
But you said he needed a house to raise her.
where he can raise his newly cloned test tube baby. Yes.
Testicles. I heard testicles coming, and you know it. I said that way wrong the whole time.
So
Shut up. Go.
2 years worth of this, almost the full 20 months. Well, no, past the full 20 months worth of injections there. So he's already cleaned up the full $500,000 from her and a 2-story house.
Jesus.
So by 1995, her son is finally fed up with her refusal to believe that he is not a charlatan, and finally convinces her to see a real oncologist because her breast, her one single breast that was infected with the cancer, has now doubled in size in this time.
Oh no!
since-
So she got one boobie 2 times bigger than the other one?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying to me? That
yes.
sounds uncomfortable. It
Yeah,
sounds like
yes.
it'd be something that you would really want addressed quickly. You know?
Agreed. Addressed, or pantsed, or shorts, or at least underweared, as quickly as possible. Yeah. So she goes
Show
to
me
see
some
an
of that vag
oncologist,
sleeve. Show me some of that vag sleeve.
and and he
The song that Chris was
tells
singing before
her
we started.
that,
He's insensitive.
what are you saying?
Nothing. Hi. Nothing. Jesus.
I can't understand you.
I'm
while
listening.
talking.
If anything, I'm listening.
For
Well,
once,
maybe you should.
because of these headphones and I'm having the volume turned down, I can actually hear me more so than I can hear you.
Okay,
Which
sorry, I'll be quiet.
I'm not saying that as an insult. I'm saying your voice projects better than mine. So that being the case, I cannot hear you at all what you're saying when I'm actually talking. So cut that
Okay,
shit out.
I got you.
You fucking silly.
Look, you were nice
hooker.
and you walked around it easily the whole time until you said, now, then you got fucking angry and yelled at me, and I don't appreciate that.
No.
'Cause I'm a
no,
rabbit
see,
working at a computer. I don't need to be here. I don't.
see,
It's
that
not.
was-
It's not even on schedule today.
That was boss talk in saying that I respect my underlings and employees, but just know that I'm being nice because I want to, not because I have to. That's what
That's
that was
cool.
supposed to convey.
Mm-hmm.
In any case, we're moving on.
Did it Timothy McConvey?
I shall have you brought slowly
Knighted by the
to
Queen?
within
Thank
an inch of your sanity, and then quickly from there to within an inch of your life.
How can you determine the physical length measurement for sane to insane?
The same way George Lucas can determine that a parsec is not a unit of time, or not a unit of distance, but time, or whatever the fuck it is. I don't give a shit. Shut your face. I'm sorry
Hey,
for
man,
yelling.
maybe he's talking about a different parsec that lives in Canada. That you wouldn't know that parsec because it goes to a different school. Parsec.
Doesn't that dude have a band? Isn't that like the Adam Parsecs band or something?
No, that's the Alan Parsons Project.
I don't. I thought it was the Kyle Gass Project.
There's lots
Anyway.
of projects.
Shut your face. Yes, there are. Most of them are.
Did
awful.
you do your math project that's due tomorrow morning?
Oh, art projects are fun. Now shut your
Said
face.
Math, whatever. I'm going to shut up because I want to, not because you told me to.
Boys and girls, you cannot see my crazy eye and the fact that I'm shaking my fist at him because we are technically on
I
a
can
video
see
call right now. But he can fucking see me.
And I'm just a rabbit typing away at a computer.
That's right, he is. So now if his little fluffy
Doing my
butt
job.
would shut it, then I could get back to this
I'm gonna stab him later.
shit right here.
Go ahead. I'm listening. Go.
So upon visiting said oncologist, poor Claire has the news broken to her that Dizen Hasenkopf is a fucking lying piece of shit, and she now has only between 6 and 18 months to live.
What the fuck was he shooting her up with?
His own fucking stupid blood that has nothing in it. So
And you also, I'm so sorry, ma'am, have herpes and super AIDS.
super duper AIDS, candisyphilades.
You probably got it from that guy's blood.
So super pissed, obviously. Her son
She
takes
still
over
has cancer.
legal guardianship and power of attorney and all that shit for her, and files and is awarded a restraining order against Diazen. Tells him to get the fuck out, and they never want to see him again. And pobrecita Claire winds up, passing away in January of 1996. So that doctor was pretty much right on the money. Not skipping a fucking beat, or even leaving the city. He didn't even leave Albuquerque.
So he's still in Albuquerque, is he?
Yes. In the summer of
That
1996.
speaks volumes, Albuquerque, by the way.
Speaks volumes?
Yeah, about the city of Albuquerque. That he, like, it's got a... Like,
I mean, it's
I'm gonna
decent
say,
size.
Fuck you, Albuquerque.
It's decent size.
Fuck you,
Albuquerque's pretty
Albuquerque.
big. So you could do some bouncing around in there before you really had to fucking leave. So yeah, in the summer of
Just like
96, Butt Knuckles over here, it's nothing special. He goes to get a haircut. And he goes into a Supercuts, and he has his hair cut by a charming young lady who he goes back to see 3 more times, when then he finally asks her on a date. And
Wow.
yeah,
He's so brave with ladies.
he
you know?
is. Yeah, he's quite confident. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I will give him that. And I'm a little jelly
Or he's...
about that.
Maybe
to
he
be
just
honest.
doesn't have, like, he doesn't have that little bone in his body where it's like, man, I'm dog shit. She's gonna say no. I'm just gonna keep coming here and tipping her way too much.
Right. Yeah. No. I honestly do not
like
think he has that.
A good red-blooded American's supposed to have.
So they start dating.
Meanwhile, she doesn't have a boyfriend, and she totally would have said yes, but whatever, you know.
She describes him as being intelligent, well-educated, well-spoken, funny, charismatic, seeming like, he had his shit together.
Doesn't he, like, all of his smarts, aren't they just, like, made up smarts?
Well, no. He was smart enough to go and he dropped out of med school, but he did get a master's in something.
Oh, he got a master's. I know that he, like, graduated college.
Yeah, or it was a bachelor's
because
in
you said
science
that.
or fucking something of some sort. Anyway, yeah, he's smart. He's just so he can make the words sound good because he kind of knows what he's talking about, but
Right.
banking on the fact that nobody else does that he deals with.
Now,
So-
what does his actual job, NASA, think of this new relationship?
Shut your face. So yeah, he gives her all the not all the spiels, but at least the doctor story that he is a
You can't just
medical
be giving out
doctor
spiels everywhere.
and all of this. Like,
Spiels are expensive these days.
he keeps some of his stories to a minimum with this one for some reason. Probably because he's not trying to scheme her out of any money. She's a fucking hairstylist. But
Okay, so he's actually, like, just into this chick.
I guess so. It kind of seems that way because he really doesn't scam her for anything. He just he does lie to her and tell her that he's a doctor. And he does tell her
Doctor of Love?
about the leukemia, the supposed
Leukemia of Love?
Yeah, that, and it does have the power. So
All comes back to Huey Lewis.
some time passes. It doesn't say quite how much. So let's probably not very much. So let's call it a couple of months. Some time passes, and she is, just convinced and comfortable with this dude to the point that she allows him to give her the very gracious and generous discount of free for her 14-year-old daughter's physical so that she can play soccer or some shit. And it's recalled, I suppose, by said daughter that it seems strange that, for this or these physicals, all he had her do was take her clothes off, and he looked at her, had her turn around, looked at her, said, okay, you're done. And that was it. So he didn't touch her.
What he actually meant was, okay, I'm done.
So he didn't touch her or anything. But
he still went in his little pants.
Probably. They did seem it was they did she did think it was strange, but he didn't touch her. So what can you say? Although some other things
with his dirty eyes.
Some other things were being noticed by this stylist. Let's call her Joan. So Joan has been noticing a few other weird things. You sure got lots
of cats here.
Joan actually has 3 children. Joan has a 14-year-old daughter, a 12-year-old son, and a 10-year-old son. So some of the other weird things that Joan has been noticing over this time is that Home Slice injects himself with a needle up 2 or 3 times a day, just like willy-nilly out in the open and shit. And when she asks him what it is, he straight up tells her it's morphine for the leukemia because it causes him pain. And if he doesn't take it, then he'll be fucking in severe pain and have to go to the hospital and all this other shit. So I guess somehow she blows that off.
Everybody knows that morphine is pretty rockin' rad, so.
Yeah, most people who have tried it on their own accord or have, had it put on them have enjoyed it quite a bit from what I hear. But,
yes.
Still, you shouldn't just do that willy-nilly in front of anybody. Shouldn't just be
if you have
sticking
leukemia,
needles in yourself
why do you care?
It ain't no thing.
I guess people would be like, yeah, you're going to give me your leukemia. It's a bloodborne disease or whatever, right?
Ew. I don't know what the fuck it is. So another thing that she finds odd, go figure. Her sons pop up one day and tell her that he took their blood. And when she confronts him about it, he says, "Oh, it's no big deal. I was just drawing their blood so I could have it tested to see if either one of them are a bone marrow match for me. So, for like leukemia and stuff."
Oh, so you took my child's blood without their or my permission. To cure yourself potentially of this disease that I didn't agree to having you use my children to cure you of.
Well, sir. Yeah. That's obviously the more pressing matter, but at the same time, leukemia and bone cancer are not the same thing, and in no way are connected. I'm not a doctor.
He obviously just recently got the bone cancer. Just because he's had leukemia forever doesn't mean that he doesn't now have both.
That could be. Zach Morris, timeout. I think I'm going to have to take this little dog or let this little dog outside real quick. Goods to go, like Don Ready and shit.
All right, you count us back in, drum major.
Oh, I kind of like that. We'll go with this one.
I don't. That's wow. Okay.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Fuck off. So, where were we? Sorry about
we
all
were
of
in
that.
we were unfortunately in Albuquerque still. And
Yes.
with
So,
the hairdresser.
Joan's 14-year-old daughter is getting free physicals from Dr. Hasenkopf, and
Creepy ones.
right, and her 10 and 12-year-old sons pop up and tell her that he drew their blood, and yeah, so
Like on a legal
that's the
pad?
recap.
Like he drew a picture of it?
Shut the fuck up! You can only make that joke once, and you already did that.
I think I just proved that I can. I can. Make
And
more
it
than
upset
once.
me both times.
Not well. Yeah, and it will. Probably the people that are listening to, they probably didn't like it very much.
I'm sure they did not. So, yeah, so I already told you that part. So, anywho, at some point during this time, and the articles make it seem like it must have happened more than once, but at some point during these few, this time that Diazin and Joan are together. Oh, noise. Sorry about that. Cut that out. 59:44. Yeah, at some point, and possibly multiple times, out of the blue and with no provocation, this butt knuckle decides to tell this woman that if he decided to kill somebody, the body would never be found because he would dissolve it in acid. And actually, no, I think sorry. That's what he told. That's what he told Girly. Actually, what he told Joan here, our girl Joan here, is that he could make her disappear, and the body would never be found because he would dissolve it in acid.
That is so scarily specific.
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's a lot of I guess there's joking contexts and things like that you could say shit like that to people and it be no big deal. However, from a professional standpoint, especially someone who knows nothing about your profession and what you have access to and what you have knowledge on, really, when it comes down to it, but believing that you are, you know, a professional, like a doctor of, you know, medical type.
Something?
Right. So, yeah, she believes this 100%. Even though it's weird that he's doing all these things, she does believe that he does have leukemia and that he is a doctor. He hasn't spun anything super outlandish to this particular woman that she mentions.
All right, and it seems like he's been more upfront, I guess, except for the free evaluations of her children.
Well, look, like in to this particular statement, you know, about dissolving her body, you know, I've had an ex-girlfriend who was a vet tech for many years and had done every job from helping to birth animals all the way up to euthanasias and every surgery in between, and you know, the cremation process. So she would always tell me if she ever had to get rid of a body or my body for whatever reason, you know, she would cremate it. And then I also had an ex-girlfriend who was an actual nurse for people this time instead of animals. That, you know, has mentioned that there are several non-scheduled I mean, I don't like the word drugs, to use the word drugs for literally everything, you know, but because it definitely applies, but it has negative connotations to it. So yeah, that there are several that are non-scheduled that they have access to that they wouldn't fucking count, that blah 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 don't show up in test, or blah 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 blah, and yada yada
Mm-hmm.
yada, and where to stick somebody, and this and that and this and that, and you know, I
That's
think nothing
terrifying.
of it because I'll never give a person, you know, cause to murder me, and
So
I
okay, so you're
have no
saying
money.
that even though he was more specific with this other lady, that it really doesn't even matter because you have heard such things from people as well, and that means that since you're not dead, that at least one person was joking with you about it.
No, no.
You know,
What I'm
using
saying
it on
is
you,
that
or
there are, you know, situations and contexts and, you know, laughing and jokes and that sort of thing that where you could say things like that and the other person not be alarmed or by it or whatever, and you know, it's all good. But also I think you have to kind of fucking know that person well enough in the first place that you're like, honestly, anybody that's ever said anything crazy like that to me, I never once suspected anything crazy about. Not that they couldn't, that they weren't capable, because I believe all humans are capable, but, you know, of murder for whatever reason. But just that,
hire murder for hire, maybe.
just that I personally am not in danger or feel no threat from these people.
I think that maybe you should start thinking those things.
Well, but I believe that, you know, all the strange things with this particular dude, like everybody in some way or another is alarmed or has, you know, alarms going off, whether they think they feel a personal physical threat or not. Something like there's enough weird shit that's like, you know, makes pretty much everybody push him away as fast as they can once they realize they've been fucked. Anyway,
Yeah,
so
he is gross.
yeah, one day at the salon, back at the salon,
Yes, I saw a wavy screen wipe for sure.
good old Joan, now on, you know, red flag alert with this dude, but still at this point not feeling threatened or that he's in a danger to her or her family, just that he's fucking weird.
Right.
So she's at the salon one day and she's doing a thing, and in walks a lady who looks just not disheveled, like as in unkempt, but like her whole demeanor and everything is disheveled. Like the woman is in tears.
She upset?
She's very upset, and she looks like she is what's the word I'm searching for? Trying to be urgent and not urgent. That's not the right word to fit in.
The sense of urgency.
Yeah, like she's not. I'm not. I don't want to say in a rush because that makes it seem like she just runs in and says a bunch of shit and runs out. But no, it makes it like she doesn't just casually walk in and ask for Joan and start talking and telling her a story. She comes in with, yes, a sense of urgency and or an air of urgency about her because she's, like, for lack of a better word, probably hysterical. She's in tears, she's upset,
Right.
she's angry, she's all this. So she goes.
You can say she's very animated.
See, I don't know. There's definitely a correct word for it, but anyway. So
It's Haas and Pfeffers.
she talks to Joan. She gets Joan, I guess, pulls Joan off to the side or whatever, and spills the beans about everything that so far she knows about him. I mean, first of all, the fact that he's married.
I think that sounds beautiful.
What the fuck, dude? Hang on. It's Gia being pissed off that somebody's laying in the bed that she wants to lay in, and she's acting like a spoiled little butterhead.
Man.
Gia.
Stop being butterheaded.
Gia, cut your shit. Oh. Is that Tiger? Honestly, it's fucking Tiger. He's acting like he needs to go back outside. God fucking damn it, this dog.
Hey, man. We all knew what we signed up for.
Yeah, but I still have to go to sleep, so hang on a second. I'm not taking
I
my
know.
phone with me this time. Hang on. I'm just kicking his ass out. Okay, Tiger, I'm coming. I'm coming, bud. Come on. Come on. Fuck up. You girls can stay inside while he's out there. Leave him alone. Okay.
Okie dokie.
Coming on back, boys and girls. I don't want it to sound like I dislike
Coming on the backs, the boys and girls? That's disgusting.
Dog. I'm just, being a little pissy that I'm trying to get through so much fucking information. And
I think it's going to be great when he hears what I just said as he returned.
Yeah,
in the edit.
I was talking to when you couldn't hear me. Oh, fuck. Sorry about that.
No, I did. I heard you just fine because I have my earpiece still in.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. 3, 2, 1. So, back to the bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Not
Life
only...
and reality, yes.
So the lady busts in. She begins to tell Joan, like I said, spilling all the beans, like the 15 bean soup she spills onto Joan, starting with, but certainly
that's probably hot.
Certainly not limited to the fact that he is married, that she is his legal wife. Girly, she tells this woman that her name is Girly Hassenkoff. And then proceeds to tell her about Dimitri, being that it's a son who is alive. Which it doesn't say that he told her anything about having a child that had been killed in a crash. Like, this is the only person he didn't say that to, basically.
How could he not, though?
Right.
At this point?
But then obviously she tells her the real important shit about, how violent he is, and he's a fucking rage monster, and that if he ever found out that she was there and talking to her, that he would for sure fucking kill her. So yeah, that makes Joan pretty fucking concerned.
Good.
I would think.
Good.
Yeah,
all of those red flags are getting definitions. Yeah.
Yeah. And so she confronts him. And of course.
As she should, yes.
Yeah, he denies everything. And he says.
He probably should, yes.
Right. Like, obviously culminating to, who told you this? And, she plays the, it was just an anonymous phone call. And he. Like, I think it's actually in her statement that he exclaims, "I think I know exactly who it is."
Oh, fuck.
Which then, obviously he's still legally married and legally lives with his real wife, so he proceeds to go home and beat her ass. Because this is still before, the restraining order and her actually moving out on her own. I assume this is like right in between those two main times that he, like, the first time he really beat
second
her
time,
and the second time,
and the second time he got pissed off because she told someone that he was lying.
Right.
Yeah.
So, finally moving on to page number 2 of 3.5. I did a lot of real, actual, handwritten fucking notes, dude. Like.
No,
I'm proud of me.
That's commendable. Commendable, indeed.
For real. I'm proud of me. So, what year was that? Yeah, that was 96 when all of that happened. And, I don't have the specific information of exactly how long he was with Joan before all this took place. And
I mean, it sounds like a decent amount of time.
yeah, it does, but who knows with this motherfucker, right? Like, he jumped from
Right.
like having a restraining order put on him from this old lady, and not 6 months later, he's now meeting Joan and swindling her.
Right.
So, all while still married to Girly, still
Players
having
gotta play, man.
a child that Girly is taking care of, and basically
That shit was
telling
the
her
weirdest
that
fucking
he's-
thing to me in the last episode. Really,
Oh, it
is
gets weirder.
That she had to fucking pay child support.
She
for
didn't
a
have
child
to.
that was not hers.
She volunteered.
No, that she
to.
ended up doing it.
She
Yeah,
volunteered to.
is it's just fucking nuts, man.
Dude. Yes, that's like honestly, as far as the insanity of this case, which, believe it or not, like, we're about to scratch, like, we've scratched the surface. We're about to start, like, walking down a level into the basement of fuckery that is this case.
Okay,
So yeah,
let's do it.
it really hasn't gotten crazy yet, but still, like, as much that has already happened that Girly knows about and or suspects and or yada yada yada, I think she could only be sticking around for the sake of this child, which is
Yeah.
her final undoing.
Yeah, and I mean,
when it
I
comes
guess that
down.
yeah. Okay, well, let's get to it. Yeah, I'll maybe say a theory of mine later.
So yeah, well, like, look, if she's like we were saying earlier, like, in the last episode, like, we find it, refreshing and cool that this story at least features a neighbor or friends that she can talk to, and the fact that
Right,
she
that-
is
yeah, that actually
being
care
vocal
about them, yeah.
and willing to call
Yeah.
the cops and willing to stand up for herself in court, and for the restraining order and all this shit. So she's
Exactly.
not. She's afraid for her life. Let's attempt to shush it, because we got another person to go, and there is a lot of fuckery that happens with this poor woman.
Shoot.
So, 1998, a lady named Julie McGuire, who was the owner of Enchantment Lodge in Aztec, New Mexico, and that is about 3
That's a-
hours or so.
That's the beginning paragraph to a horror fucking story. That is just like it's all stuff that sounds like it's supposed to be named in a bright, fun, happy making way, and it's just all of it just sounded so depressing and evil.
No, I mean, she's doing pretty well for herself. This is not one that her entire life is fucked over by this guy. But a lot of
I just
a lot of
was
shit
meaning
happens.
more the names of the places and stuff just sounded like the setup for some fucked up shit to happen. Not that it was going to happen to her,
Oh.
but yeah, it just sounded
Nice.
It sounds like a dangerous, dirty place.
Nice. So she celebrates her 50th birthday on August 4th of 1998. And sometime closer to the end of that month, she posts a dating ad as well.
Okay.
And is obviously received by a Dr. Hassenkopf.
What are the chances?
Oh, pretty good, apparently.
I guess so, yeah.
Let me. Now, it doesn't say what she actually posted as that she was looking for. But let me tell you what he says to her. Because really, this whole thing is all about his spiel, right? It's
Right.
all about his
Yeah, it's all about
his
his
accolades that
that's
draw
right.
everyone in.
It's so good.
So, you ready for this list?
Yes, please.
He's got. He tells her he has a bachelor's in science in biochem from the Tokyo University,
Of course, yes.
a master's in organometallic chemistry from Stanford.
Organometallic.
mass-
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
That's badass, right? Like, sounds like he's a cyborg scientist.
That's
Like,
right.
I don't know for sure, but
I like it.
He has a master's in genetic engineering from the San Francisco University, and then an MD/PhD from Cornell. He tells her that one of his parents was Japanese, the other was German. He tells her through writing, I guess, that he has a slight Japanese accent, and sends her a picture of himself wearing a kimono.
Ooh, is it a sexy
Which
kimono,
you
like
can
a short
actually find
one?
A picture of, which you can actually find a picture of him with her wearing a kimono.
I'm not going to look it up. That sounds
fucking
like they would
retarded.
put me on some kind of list.
He tells her that he was born 2 months premature on a Swedish ship.
During
For what reason?
visitation of Halley's Comet.
Right. Like, this sounds like the fucking, ridiculously upgraded version that everybody always mentioned as like your grandparents' story about how they had it tough in their time and they had to walk 20 miles uphill in the snow barefoot.
In
to
a
get to
Swedish
school and
ship
shit.
in the middle of nowhere, giving birth to some asshole 2 months early.
We only had sandpaper condoms because, it was gross to wear, to use the sheepskin ones because the sheep was still alive.
I
don't
would
know.
use live sheep before I would use sandpaper for sure. That's just, How fine a grain is the sandpaper?
I mean, depends on the level of technology at that.
I'm thinking it's
Time
not very
period.
fine grained, and that it's probably like broken
I'm
glass
thinking
stuck
not.
to a flypaper sheet. And I'm gonna go ahead and say that the human race is doomed.
Yeah, you know what? I think sheep over sandpaper was a good choice. Now, here's a little helpful hint / joke, depending on how you want to take it.
Okay.
Why do the farmers always take the sheep up to the edge of a cliff to bang them?
I don't like where this is going, but I am intrigued as to where it's going. Please finish.
Because they back up. They're not going to let you push them off a fucking cliff or the edge of something tall.
Wait, are you just telling me a fact or a joke? A factual
if you
joke?
recall my lead in to this, I said helpful hint or a joke, whichever you decide to take it as.
So it makes
either way, you can't unhear it.
It takes sheep.
So,
it makes
it's on you.
sheep easier to rape if you bring them to the edge of a cliff. Is what you're saying?
Or any living creature besides a lemming, I guess.
I mean, I don't want to say it's consensual
Or bugs,
with the sheep, but it's.
I'm not saying it is either, but it's not going to let you push it off a cliff, so it's going to back up.
What about
Or
the
the edge of
shame?
a barn or something.
What about the shame that they would
shame?
feel? I don't know. Like they
ain't no
let everybody
shame when
down.
ain't no people's on the property.
She was
And when
supposed
you
to
got,
be the first lawyer in that family, and now she just doesn't have it in her anymore.
when you got a couple of hundred sheep, and who's going to believe one over the flock? Anyway, we've already derailed now another fucking 7 minutes. So shush your face.
You told the joke.
He goes on to tell her that he has a level 22 government security clearance.
God, I thought you were going to say
And
wizard
that his
in
wife
D&D.
was killed by a drunk driver. But in smearing some extra butter onto that wife killed by a drunk driver story, he said, you remember how he usually adds in that he feels guilty about it because she was on her way to the hospital that he worked at. Well, he adds that in, but goes on to say that the EMTs went ahead and brought her to his hospital in her condition, and that he was the attending surgeon to work on her and try to save her life, and that he did everything he could, but he just failed, and he feels so guilty after all these years.
As he should. He's a piece of shit. But not for this. This is completely fabricated.
but that they together had a son, Dmitri, who is alive and well, and he is 2 years old. And then he tells her, because if you'll recall, he has a master's in genetic engineering, and the master's in.
I just lost Chris.
Biochem. The bachelor's in biochem.
He froze. I don't know if he was fucking with something or something else happened, but
no, but it's okay because the recording didn't.
This.
There
he is. Now he's back.
This conversation.
He's back.
Sorry, it's got to be the connection, but the
We're
recording
back.
didn't freeze, so
no,
you'll hear it.
I'm still here.
So
do you not hear me? See me?
Yes, I do hear you.
Okay.
Okay. What was the last thing you heard?
That that they were listening to See No, Hear No, Speak No, and then you said you, and then it cut out.
Oh, well, I mean, I don't know how you heard that. I certainly didn't hear that, and we definitely have a little bit left to go before.
Yeah, hurry!
Pops up.
I'm here.
If
No.
possible.
I meant at the beginning is what I was saying. That's I was joking
Okay.
with you. That's the last thing I heard, which would have been quite some fucking time ago.
You smell
And
like
you know-
cheese.
That's fine.
So,
That's fine.
Just a few last things.
Mm-hmm.
So, he does have a 2-year-old son from that marriage,
Dmitri.
and that Dmitri is alive and well.
Yep,
he
he didn't
tells
die
her
in the
that-
lie. Didn't die in the lie.
Right. He tells her that he has developed a technique for manipulating human cells for the use for anti-aging, and that he has access to this serum. So he decided to take Dmitri with him to meet her. So it was about 3 hours north or so, where he spent 3 days. And wait 1 second. There was something else I had in my notes that was out of line about that 3 days. Never mind. I'll see it when I get to it, I guess. So he goes on to tell her within those 3 days, the first 3 days of actually meeting her in person, he continues his rhetoric by telling her that Dmitri is one of 12 boys that were genetically created in a lab using his sperm.
What the?
By the NSA. Using his sperm. All 12 boys were all gestated and everything within 1 month's time. 12 different women's eggs, though. All his sperm, 12 different women. All created within 1 month's time. And they were all born at 8 a.m. on August, which is the 8th month, and the 8th day. So August 8th at 8 a.m. of 1996.
Okay.
And that particular secret project was codenamed Project Girly, which is why Dmitri often asks for Girly. He was only able to smuggle out one child, I guess, of the 12 boys.
And now he's on the run from the alien police law.
So here is this final sentence is where we're gonna stop. At this point, he has now gone into government programs and the NSA and all this shit and all this insanity. So what else do you think he might do? Quick speculation. Go. What do you think he's going to say next? Or do?
I think that he's going to say that he is actually not of this world, and that's how he can do all this awesome stuff, so sweet and nice and stuff. Is that he's not from here, and he would like the woman that he loves, that he's telling this to I don't know, maybe like wash down there a little more or something, you know?
Well, that would be hilarious if he did, if he had said that. But no, that may or may not come later. I don't know. No spoilers. But no.
That's what she said.
This final statement, it's not specifically what he said yet. That this final statement will be just kind of roundabout. So from here,
You froze
he
again for a
decides
second.
to kick up.
Hold on. There he is.
His so from here he decides to kick up his stories with this fun edition, and this is where we'll leave you. Dream fucking fuzzy fluffy shit, kids, because Daisen is now going to start implementing aliens into his stories.
Yay.
So we get extraterrestrials, and we maybe get some abductions, and
We've gotten
who
gotten
knows?
plenty that was completely as magical as that even. So yeah, I'm excited. This guy's got quite the imagination, I'll say, and he does also have
He
like
really does.
He must fucking tell one serious fucking like campfire story. You know, like just the instant gullibility that he finds in these people is scary. It's fucking scary.
I'm curious as to the extent of his adverb and adjective section in his vocabulary, because you can throw out medical terminology, and that's one thing. You know, a lot of people don't know a lot of things when it comes to medical terminology, but you know, you dude, fucking really? And somehow he fucking finds these people $500,000 and a fucking 2-story house in Albuquerque in less than 2 years. He swindled out of this woman legally. I don't fucking get it.
I think I get a little bit of it, and what that is that you've just listened to another $500,000 episode of See No, Hear No, Speak No.
Man, jam packed. Like I keep saying about this story, you know, with the fuckery and the oof. Now the UFOs, we're about to get into that, but definitely conspiracies and possibly soon to be Moida. You know, there's some Moidas, I think.
Yeah, we wouldn't talk about this
you're
guy
gonna
if he
fucking
was
love
just a good liar. I mean, you know.
I would. This story is fucking crazy.
P.S.
Like, we haven't done any really good con man. There's been a few.
P.S.
We'll get into
I
it
need
some.
your blood. I know that. I mean, I'm a broken record here, but I can't stress enough.
Thereof.
I cannot stress enough how much I need your blood.
Lambo's
I need your blood. I need
leukemia-ridden
your
butthole.
kid's blood. I need your dog. Give me some of its blood. I'm gonna paint the town red, and I'm gonna use your family's blood to do it. So I need it, and I need it kind of soon.
Yeah.
it.
But
I have
he'll
a
only
date.
give his PO box out, address out, you know, via DM. So you have to email him, care of Jason Rambisi at snhnsnpod@gmail.com, and let him know, you know, that you would like to mail him some blood, and he'll go
Give me your
ahead and give
motherfucking
the
blood, you
info.
pieces of shit.
Yeah, but you know, until then, have
A great
wonderful
night.
dreams, like I said, about you know, now Jason's crusty butthole and
Countdown,
blood
kids.
bottles and
3,
aliens and shit.
2, 1. This is gonna be a bitch to edit, but I'm up for the challenge. Goodbye.
Fuck off.
Your
Later.
face to face with the man.